Dear readers, really happy to be with you. I'm here with a big cup of coffee. I'm really happy you continue reading with me. It's a very difficult book we're reading, but I'm really happy to tell you that we were 42 people reading last week. So let's hope we're at least 42 today. We're going to read page 26 and 27 of Les Misérables, the famous work of Victor Hugo. Very famous work, but a bit hard. It's French literature now, and we know that French literature is very often very descriptive. So you have a lot of synonyms, you have a lot of adjectives, but I'm sure we'll get through this. So remember, it was about Jean Valjean. This man traveling, and they refused to give him accommodation in two places already. So now, il passa devant la prison. So he passed in front of the prison. À la porte pendait une chaîne de fer attachée à une cloche. So at the door was hanging, pendait comes from the verb pendre, was hanging a chain of iron. In English, we would say an iron chain, attached to a cloche. It's not a clock, it's a bell. But you can see where the word comes from. So a bell. Il sonna. So he rang this bell. Sonner means to ring a bell. Un guichet s'ouvrit. So un guichet, it's some kind of a counter, opened. Now I have to say that, and if you want to know more about it, you can ask me. But so we have the verb ouvrir, it's to open. If you put se, so it's, in fact, se means oneself, but if you put se in front of it, sometimes it becomes the passive form, which means not somebody opened the door, but the door was opened, and here it's not the door, it's the counter was opened. So this is a passive construction. If you need more information, please ask me. So then the stranger, or the traveler, the man who's traveling, asks, Monsieur le guichetier, dit-il en ôtant respectueusement sa casquette, voudriez-vous bien m'ouvrir et me loger pour cette nuit? So Mr. Counter Clerk, or whatever we could call it, so guichetier is the man who is opening the counter. He said, while autant means taking off, respectfully, his cap, une casquette, a cap. Would you please, bien, yeah, it's in this construction, would you please, because bien means well, would you please open to me and loger, lodge me, or give me, loger means to give accommodation for this night. So apparently he wants to sleep in prison. Une voix répondit. So a voice answered, une prison n'est pas une auberge. So a prison is not an inn. It's not a place to stay overnight. It's not an inn. Faites-vous arrêter. Have yourself arrested. On vous ouvrira, and then we will open to you. And remember what I said about the word on. It can be we, it can be they, it can be one. In general, it can be a lot of things. Here it is, we will open to you. Ouvrira, it's a future tense. Let me know if you want to have more information about that. So, le guichet se referma. So the counter closed again. We have again this passive construction with se. Let me know if you want to explain. If you want me to explain, I'm sorry. Il entra dans une petite rue où il y a beaucoup de jardins. So he entered in a small street where there is a lot of gardens. Quelques-uns ne sont enclos que de haies, ce qui égaye la rue. So some of them, quelques-uns, a few of them, and watch out now, we have again this construction ne que. And ne que, it's not really a negation, it means only. Huh? Some of them only are enclosed or like, yeah, closed by edges. Huh? Et it's hedges. What, that means that's sicky. What, égayer. Gay in French means happy and makes happy the street, but probably we would not say to make happy, but maybe brightens up the street. So some of those gardens have like hedges around. Parmi ces jardins et ces haies, il vit une petite maison d'un seul étage dont la fenêtre était éclairée. So, amongst those gardens and those hedges, he saw, well, vit is again this, what we call passé simple. It's a tense you use to write books. It's not really how you speak. When you speak, you will use imparfait passé composé. Also, if you need more information, tell me. So he saw a small house of one single étage floor, of which the window was éclairé, but lit, or we could say enlightened, but here it's more like it was lit. There was a light behind it. Il regarda par cette vitre comme il avait fait pour le cabaret. So he looked through this window like he had done for the cabaret. You know, the cabaret, the place, some kind of an inn also where he was just before. C'était une grande chambre blanchie à la chaux, avec un lit drapé d'indienne imprimée et un berceau dans un coin, quelques chaises de bois et un fusil à 2 coups accroché au mur. So now he's describing the interior of that place. So it was a big room, blanchi, whitened à la chaux. Yeah. Well, I think whitened à la chaux, I think it's lime in English, but blanchi à la chaux, I think in English we would say whitewashed, with a bed draped with, what drape means there was like a kind of cloth hanging with an Indian print, and un berceau, it's a crib, so like a little bed for a baby, in a corner. A few chairs of wooden chairs, and a gun à 2 coups. À 2 coups. I think it's this, double-barreled gun, I think you would call it in English. Accroché, hooked on the wall, hanging on the wall. Okay? Une table était servie au milieu de la chambre. So a table was set in the middle of the room. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm going to the next page already. Sorry, let me get back. Where are we? Here. Une lampe de cuivre éclairait la nappe de grosse toile blanche. Le broc d'étain luisait comme l'argent et plein de vin, et la soupière brune qui fumait. So, a lamp of copper, a copper lamp. We have again this word éclairer, means to enlighten, to bring light, to, maybe we could say, to shed light. Huh? The nappe is the tablecloth of thick white cloth. Toile, it's a kind of thick cotton. The étain is tin, it's a material. The tin jug, this is a jug, shining like silver and full of wine. And the soupière, well, it's a big kettle with soup, the brown soup kettle, which was fumé. Fumé means it could be smoking, but here I think I would rather say steaming. It's coming out of Well, the soup is steaming. À cette table était assis un homme d'une quarantaine d'années, à la figure joyeuse et ouverte, qui faisait sauter un enfant sur ses genoux. So at this table was sitting a man of, well, quarantaine means more or less 40. So 40 is 40. If you put N at the end, it means like more or less 40 years old, with a face joyful and open, so I had a joyful and open face, who made jump a little child on his knees. So it's really like jumping up a small kid on his knees. Près de lui, une femme toute jeune allaitait un autre enfant. So near him, a woman, very young, allaitait, well, we see the word lait, milk in it. So breastfeeding, allaiter is breastfeeding another child. Le père riait, l'enfant riait, la mère souriait. So the father was laughing, the child was laughing, and the mother smiled. Okay, well, this is really all very nice to see. L'étranger resta un moment rêveur devant ces spectacles doux et calmants. So the stranger, so the man who was traveling, stayed a moment rêveur, dreaming, in front of this spectacle. I wouldn't say a spectacle, I would say this scene, this soft and calm scene. Que se passait-il en lui? Que se passait-il en lui? What was happening inside him? Hein? Se passer means to happen. Lui seul eût pu le dire. So he, him, only, eût pu, had been able to say it. Hein? Watch out, it's coming from the verb avoir. So he had been able. He only would have been able to say it. Il est probable qu'il pensa que cette maison joyeuse serait hospitalière et que là où il voyait tant de bonheur, il trouverait peut-être un peu de pitié. So it is probable or probably he thought that this joyful house would be hospitalière, hospital in the sense welcoming, and that there where he saw so much happiness, he would find maybe a little bit of pity. You see, that's what he was thinking. Huh? Maybe those people who are very joyful, they will have pity for me. They will be nice to me. Il frappa au carreau un petit coup très faible. So he knocked at the window. A small blow, well, it's a knock, hein, but the word coup en français really can mean a lot of things. Can mean a blow. I think here it's rather a knock, hein, a small knock, very faible, very weak. So he knocked really softly on the window. On n'entendit pas. So here, on, see, it means they. They did not hear it. It's the verb entendre. Il frappa un second coup. So he knocked a second blow, a second time. Il entendit la femme qui disait, so he heard the woman who said, Mon homme, il me semble qu'on frappe. My man, so my husband, my man, so she's talking to her husband. It seems to me that one is knocking. Somebody is knocking. And you see here, the on means one, someone. Someone's knocking. Non, répondit le mari. No, said the husband. Okay, so this is already the first page. Let's go to the second page. This must be 27. Yes. Il frappa un troisième coup. So he knocked a third time. It really says a third blow. Le mari se leva, prit la lampe et alla à la porte qu'il ouvrit. So the husband stood up, c'est le verbe se lever, took the lamp and went to the door that he opened. So he opened the door. C'était un homme de haute taille, de mi-paysan, de mi-artisan. So it was a man of high taille, maybe stature, or really it says like high height. Taille in French, it means how tall you are. So it was a tall man, half peasant and half artisan. An artisan is a craftsman. Il portait un vaste tablier de cuir qui montait jusqu'à son épaule gauche et dans lequel faisait ventre un marteau, un mouchoir rouge, une poire à poudre, toutes sortes d'objets que la ceinture retenait comme dans une poche. Okay, so he's describing the man. The man, he was wearing a large tablier. It's like an apron of leather, a leather apron, which went up to his left shoulder, and in which we have the expression faisait ventre. It made stomach too, but it really means it was holding. So this apron in leather was holding, faisait ventre. It was holding a hammer, a red handkerchief, mouchoir, and a pear with powder. A powder pear. I think it's really like pear, but I think it's probably the shape of a pear. So probably in English, we would say a flask. We probably will know later what it really is. So a flask with powder. All sorts of objects that the belt held, retenir it's to hold, like in a pocket. So I think he had all kind of tools in this leather apron. Il renversait la tête en arrière. So he threw his head backwards. Renverser, it's to throw backwards. Sa chemise largement ouverte et rabattue montrait son cou de taureau blanc et nu. So his shirt largely open and rabattu, I think it means like the collar is really like flattened, like it's open. Maybe we should say folded down. Showed his neck of a bull, his bull's neck, white and naked. So the man has an enormous neck. Il avait d'épais sourcils, d'énormes favoris noirs, les yeux à fleur de tête, le bas de visage en museau, et sur tout cela, cet air d'être chez soi, qui est une chose inexprimable. So, this man, he had thick eyebrows, enormous black favoris, it's those sideburns, I don't know if you say the same in American English, but I think, yeah, we call it sideburns, black sideburns. His eyes on the surface of his head, which really means, I think, well, on the surface of his head, it means like prominent eyes. Le bas, the lower part of the face. En museau, it's like a muzzle or a snout. I think also a bit like protruding, I imagine. And on all that, this air, this impression, or this air of being at his own place, chez soi, he's in his own house, which is a thing that's inexprimable, well, let's say inexpressible. So he's describing the man and he says, well, this man, he really feels like he's home, and this is a thing you cannot express. Monsieur, dit le voyageur, pardon, Sir, said the traveler, I'm sorry, hein, pardon, excuse me, or I'm sorry. En payant, pourriez-vous me donner une assiette de soupe et un coin pour dormir dans ce hangar qui est là dans ce jardin? So he asked by paying. So he says, I'm willing to pay, but by paying, could you give me a plate of soup and a corner to sleep in the hangar? It's like a shed, which is there in the garden. Dites, pourriez-vous? Tell me, could you? En payant, by paying. So he insists he's paying. Qui êtes-vous? demanda le maître du logis. Who are you? Asked the master of the place. Logis, you think of lodging somewhere, of staying somewhere. So the house, we could really say, the master of the house. L'homme répondit, j'arrive depuis Moisson. The man said, I'm coming from or arriving from Puy-Moisson. It's a place. J'ai marché toute la journée. I marched, I walked the whole day. J'ai fait 12 lieues. I walked, but he says, I walked 12 miles. Pourriez-vous, could you, en payant, by paying. Je ne refuserai pas, dit le paysan, de loger quelqu'un de bien qui payerait. I would not, said the peasant. No, I would not refuse, I'm sorry. Refuserait, it's the conditional tense. It means would refuse. I would not refuse, said the peasant, to lodge or to give accommodation to somebody, quelqu'un de bien. It's someone who is good, a good person, who would pay. Mais pourquoi n'allez-vous pas à l'auberge? But why are you not going? Vous n'allez pas to the inn. Il n'y a pas de place. There's no room. There's no place for me. No room. Bah, pas possible. He says, what? Not possible. Ce n'est pas jour de foire ni de marché. It's not the day of the fair, nor the day of the market. Êtes-vous allé chez la barre? Have you gone to la barre? And we know that he's been there. Oui, yes. Eh bien, well, le voyageur répondit avec embarras. So the traveler answered with embarrassment. Je ne sais pas, il ne m'a pas reçu. I don't know, he has not received me. Êtes-vous allé chez Chose de la rue de Chaffaut? Ah oui. Have you gone? Êtes-vous allé? Have you gone at in Chose? It really means a thing, but it's like if you don't know the place. Have you been to the one? Maybe that's how I should translate. So the one of the rue de Chaffaut. And we know he's been there. L'embarras de l'étranger croissait. So the embarrassment of the stranger, croissait comes from the verb croître, to grow. So his embarrassment grew. Il balbutia, so he stammered. Il ne m'a pas reçu non plus. He did not receive me either. Le visage du paysan prit une expression de défiance. So the face of the peasant took an expression of, well, defiance, but I think we could rather say mistrust. So he's not trusting the thing, not trusting the traveler. Il regarda le nouveau venu de la tête aux pieds et tout à coup, il s'écria avec une sorte de frémissement. So he looked up the newcomer, le nouveau venu, the newcomer, from the head to the feet. So from up, he looked up and down, from the head to the feet. And all of a sudden, tout à coup, he screamed out with a kind of frémissement, shivering maybe, some kind of shivering. He said, And we don't know what he's going to say. It's going to be the next page, next week, page 28. Um, but I think we can guess a little bit what he will get as an answer. Probably this man also has already news from the other places. Well, we will see that next week. Let's hope quite some of you have been reading with me. I'm happy if you did, and I really hope to see you next week. I'm going to finish my coffee. Hope to see you very soon. Bye.